Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we've got some cool previews to talk about for the Gauntlet Fighter. AMG dropped some Rebel spoilers, so we're going to be talking about some of the new Rebel-specific cards that you're going to get in the Gauntlet Fighter expansion, because this one does come with cards for 5 factions. So today we got some cool Rebel stuff. AMG's been dropping spoilers like crazy, so this is coming out soon, guys. So this is gonna be a really fun one. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away that lightsaber. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. That'll enter you to win. Also, while you're doing that, make sure you like the video, share the video, check the links in the description below, all that other cool stuff. While you're down there, check out today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens for X-Wing as well as other games like Star Wars Legion. There's a bunch of new Legion tokens that just dropped, so check those out if you're interested in those as well. If you use code Crabbok VIP, you're going to save 15% off your order. And if you order using that code with anything of $35 or more, you're going to get a free Crabbok token, lightsaber nunchucks on both sides. It's pretty much the coolest token you're ever going to see. Really good for marking critical hits or commanders and Legion and things like that. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into these spoilers because they are pretty cool. So first off, we're looking at some of our Rebel-specific pilots. We do get some great art on this one too. I like that. It looks like an AT DP or one of the kind of prototype walkers before the well, I don't want to say prototype walkers, but one of the walkers that you saw a lot of in Star Wars Rebels. So that's a pretty cool. I wonder if that means we're going to see more of those, because they already did one of those for Imperial Assault. But we got the Mandalorian Resistance pilot clan loyalist here. It is a unique, although this is kind of like your generic. There's no special ability to this one. At Initiative 2, this is basically going to be your entry level, your lowest point cost, Gauntlet Fighter for the Rebels. Not all of the factions are going to have uniques for their generics, but I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but we do know that, at least from what we've seen so far, most of the factions aren't going to be able to take infinite gauntlets. You're going to have, that cheap one that's also going to be unique for most of them. The Rebels certainly fall into that category. Next up, we have Chopper, also at Initiative 2. Chopper looks actually pretty awesome. First off, look at this interdictor. This interdictor behind him is getting ready to just explode. That is some of the most fantastic artwork I've seen on an X-Wing card. I absolutely love that. That's it's really, really cool. So we got Chopper coming in at Initiative 2. He says, at the start of the engagement phase, each enemy ship at range 0 gains 2 jam tokens. Now, jam tokens are a big deal, and at Initiative 2 is a really cool thing because he makes for a really effective blocker right here at Initiative 2. He's probably going to be one of the first people to move, and so if he can, and you're already a large base, so if you can put yourself in a position that multiple enemy ships are gonna ram you, that's really cool. Now, usually, if somebody rams you, then they're not going to be able to do a whole lot as far as the actions are concerned, but now they are letting you take actions. So now all of a sudden those jam tokens, like I feel like this is a pilot that gets a lot better under the new rule set, and I feel like that's gonna affect his cost. I wouldn't be surprised if Chopper goes up significantly in his point cost from whatever he might have been otherwise, because normally, under the old rules, like, range 0 ships would usually not have much anyway. I mean, you could get rid of locks that way. That's definitely the one thing that's not going to change. It's a great way to get rid of locks, or just to prevent other mechanics that might trigger during the round. This is at the start of the engagement phase too, and so if there is somebody that's that you're able to bump, maybe they've gone first, you can then potentially bump them, and then be like, haha, you're gonna lose your tokens now. So that's always a nasty thing. It is nasty. It's a shame that's range 1 though, because imagine if it was like, it's a shame that's range 0. Could you imagine if it was like range 1 or range 2? Like, if it was range 2, that'd be absolutely insane. So he'd have to be insanely expensive if that were the case. 2 jam tokens for everybody every. So range 0 makes sense. You definitely don't want to bump this guy. And then we have Ezra Bridger. This is probably our number one fighter for the Gauntlet Fighter for the Rebels, but he is only coming in at Initiative 3. So he's not going to really be like the ace of spades here. He's going to be doing doing stuff at a pretty low initiative level. He does say, while you defend or perform an attack, if you are stressed, you may spend 1 force to change up to 2 of your eyeballs to evades or hit results. And so he does have the 1 recurring force. So again, kind of Ezra is kind of fitting into where most other versions of Ezra have been, where you kind of benefit from having stress. Now, of course, if you're unstressed, of course, that's its own benefit. But Ezra's one of those pilots that wants to work with stress, and I think that's going to have actually a pretty good interaction with some of the other things that we've seen, some of the other cards that you might want to pair him with, and of course with our title, the Night Brother, which can be for a Rebel or Scum Gauntlet fighter. The Night Brother is, of course, the version of the ship that Darth Maul, or I should say Maul, used during Star Wars Rebels and the that he acquired during the Clone Wars. So this is definitely Maul's ship. Ezra kind of stole it and then kind of used it to he flew it in a couple of episodes, as a matter of fact. And so it's a pretty cool paint job on this one too. Definitely reflects Maul's color scheme. It is also featured in all of the art here. Well, I should say the Chopper and Ezra art. So I thought that's pretty cool that they made both of them flying the Night Brother in the art. So that's pretty groovy. But this one is going to take up your title and your mod slot. It's going to have 2 recurring charge. It says, after you reveal a non-blue maneuver, if you are stressed, you may spend 2 charge to gain a focus or evade token. So I think that's really cool. It certainly feels like it wants to go on Ezra, and it also adds a crew slot as well. Now we don't know how many crew slots this ship has normally. That is certainly going to be a question because I don't know if it's going to have very many at all outside of this particular one. But if so, I think it makes for great options for somebody like Maul, or I should say the original Maul. Because original Maul is can go in the Rebels as long as you have Ezra Bridger there, and of course he's going to give you another force, which is good. So he'd be great to pair. I think when they make this one, it almost makes you want to put Maul on there, and of course Maul factors into all of these because it says after you suffer damage, you may gain a stress to recover a force token. Of course, that's going to make sure you have a stress, so this way you can get it free, focus or evade. Also, I mean, maybe the evade is going to be better in this case, since you're going to have Ezra's ability, which lets you just spend 1 force to get 2 results changed over, and that's going to be really good. Of course, that won't work with your with your green dice if you roll blanks. So therefore, the evade might be actually might be a pretty good option if you're able to actually get the 2 force and only have to use 1 per turn, or even if you have to use 2 per turn. I mean, you got Maul out there. Hey, I'll take a strain. I'll take a stress. I'll recover a force. That's pretty cool. If I think another option is maybe Kanan. I could see Kanan going with Ezra too. Of course, it's thematic. And by the way, both Kanan and Maul are crazy expensive, right? Like Kanan's 12 points, Maul is 10 points. So there's quite a few good options on different crew that you could pair up with Ezra that are going to work with this. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know some of your options, what you think you'd want to pair up on a Night Brother, or do you think you'd rather run Chopper? I think it really would make a bigger difference if we could see the point costs and the upgrades, because every once in a while, a pilot will come out that has a different set of upgrades that are available than, we've seen this with certain bombers and things like that are like, hey, well, this one can take bombs, this one can take torpedoes and all of that. So I wonder if Chopper and Ezra will have different options. I actually, speaking of droid pilots, it makes me harken back to the Republic Y-Wing, where if you had R2 piloting, you had the crew slot because he wasn't, basically you had the pilot seat empty, he was in the astromech slot. Right, so like it changes things up, right? And so like could Chopper, maybe have an extra crew built in for free, but his pilot ability might not be as synergistic with some of the other ones. So like I always want to kind of see that stuff, and that's I guess one of my biggest gripes with the 2.0 card layout change is that when we get these spoilers, there's a whole lot less speculation that we can really do. And so it'd be kind of cooler to see like what's Chopper going to cost, what's Chopper going to have, what's Ezra going to cost, and what's he going to have. These are things that I always worry about and wonder, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see until these are supposed to be coming out later this month. So So hopefully that's the plan. I think the 25th, currently the release date for all three of these Mandalorian expansions. Also curious when we're going to get the Cad Bane and Rogue class fighter and the Clone Z95 previews. Those are supposed to be coming hopefully soon, but maybe they're trying to stretch it out for a while. So I guess, you know, when it comes out, when we find out about it, I'll be letting you guys know. And I think that's going to do it for today. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out Luxury Playstyle. Check out the links in the description below. And big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. And I just want to say, may the Force be with you. And always wear your socks.